Many of us have grown up in different eras. Some people in previous generations grew up in a day and age where they did not have to lock their doors. House doors would be unlocked, car doors would be unlocked, and they could do that with confidence and feeling that nobody would go in and take their possessions. Things are different a little bit in a lot of ways today because, number one, we lock our doors. Many homes have alarms and things that we do to try to keep intruders out. Cars have alarms. You can go through a parking lot on many days and see occasions where a car alarm is going off. It may be somebody breaking in, or most of the times it's somebody trying to find their vehicle and don't know any other way to find it than to make the alarm go off. But in the scenario when I look at this, I see a lot of ways in how our nation needs to react because we're living in a different day and age than what it used to be in the 21st century. And since the attacks of September 11th, 2001, we need to really take a strong look at our national security and to make sure that our borders are safe for the United States. So we must do whatever we can to keep illegal immigrants from coming into this country. The definition of an illegal immigrant is an alien or a non-citizen who has entered the United States without government permission or stayed beyond the termination date of a visa. This is the definition given by the legal dictionary. It's estimated that there are 13 million illegal U.S. Immigrants in our country that are born here, and it's affecting the United States and its citizens in the categories of the economy, in the category of jobs, in healthcare, and most importantly, as I feel, is our national security. And that is from a website, illegalimmigrationstatistics.org. When we look at the first factor, the economy, according to the Federation for American Immigration Reform, or FAIR, it's estimated that illegal immigration costs U.S. taxpayers $113 billion a year at the federal, state, and local level. The bulk of the cost, which is around $84 billion, those are absorbed by state and local governments. This amounts to $1,117 per native-headed household in the United States. Education for the children of illegal aliens constitutes the single largest cost, which is nearly $52 billion. Nearly all of those costs are absorbed by state and local governments. Another factor that illegal immigration costs us in the United States is in the area of jobs. When in 2009, USA Today made a report that quoted an estimate that illegal immigrants would be taking 300,000 construction jobs, or 15% of the 2 million jobs that new taxpayer-financed projects were created with. And so this was based off the Census Bureau's investigation that estimates that 15% of all construction workers are either illegal immigrants or lack the status of legal immigrant authorized to work in the U.S. Now, a lot of people will look at that, and I've heard the argument as well that some people will say, well, the illegal immigrants will work jobs that regular U.S. citizens will not work. I recall in October of 2008, and you can read this on the WYFF4.com website, near my hometown of Greenville, South Carolina, there was a police raid in which 300 illegal immigrants were arrested from a chicken factory. Now, the thinking is, most of the times people would say, well, a regular U.S. citizen would not want to work at a chicken factory. Well, once these 300 jobs came open, when the factory was looking to hire new people, there was a huge line outside the door of this factory of people wanting the jobs that most people would say that Americans do not want. It may have been different years ago when the economy was better, when we did not have a 10% hovering around the unemployment rate. But in this day and age, people are willing to work any kind of job that they have to work in order to provide for their family. And so if it means that they have to work in the chicken factory, Americans are becoming more willing to do these jobs than maybe they did several years ago. Another thing that we have to look at is the healthcare situation in our country. Illegal immigrants pose a public health risk because they do not go through the medical screening that regular citizens have to go through, and they are often containing contagious disease. A June 2009 article in the New England Journal of Medicine noted that a majority, which is 57.8%, of all new cases of tuberculosis in the U.S. in 2007 were diagnosed in foreign-born persons. Illegals also pose a significant cost because of the use of hospital and emergency services rather than preventative medical care. In our country, many people are afforded this opportunity where they can go to an emergency room and receive care regardless of whether they are a citizen or not. So those costs are there because illegals are using the hospital and emergency services rather than those cares. The utilization rate of hospitals and clinics by illegal aliens, which is 29%, is more than twice the rate of the overall U.S. population, which is 11%. The estimated cost of unreimbursed medical care in 2004 in California was about $1.4 billion per year. In Texas, the estimated cost was $0.85 billion, and in Arizona, the cost was $0.4 billion. All those things, and when I was doing the research for this, you can see statistics where people can play these numbers either way depending on their persuasion. But my most important concern for the reason that we need to stop illegal immigration is the protection of our U.S. borders. Colonel Luther B. Smith of the United States Marines writes this: "Illegal immigration compromises our national security by showing an inability to defend our borders and enforce immigration law." This was proven on September 11, 2001, when border and immigration personnel had no idea who was living in our country or operating, and as a result, our national security was exploited by Al-Qaeda. So what do we do about this? How do we solve this problem? The main thing that I feel we need to do is to protect our borders. We need to make sure that no one is allowed to enter into this country illegally, that we need to do everything that we can to make America as safe as possible. Now, the thing that I'm torn on personally is what do we do with those who are here? You have to assume to some degree, if you say we need to kick everybody out that is not here legally, that they are here to cause harm upon the U.S. and they need to be removed because of that. But I believe that there are people who, in search of freedom, who in search of wanting to make a better life for themselves or their family, have come to America. And so that's the struggle. How do we determine who is going to be able to stay and who must go because of a threat to our national security? First of all, I feel that amnesty is not the answer. If someone were to successfully break into your home, would you invite them to stay over for dinner? Would you open up your guest room and tell them that they can stay as long as they want to because they were able to get past the security and the locked doors that you have? Absolutely not. So if amnesty were put into place in our country, illegals would receive the benefits that all American citizens receive, including the Social Security system that is basically in shambles right now. So we have to put a stop to this. The criminals need to be sent back to their country. But in conclusion, as I close out, I want you to understand that when people look at the criticisms of my stance, they may say, well, you don't like this group of people, you're against them. Let me tell you about myself. I really don't know what my background is. On the same day a few years ago, someone asked me if I was Hispanic. A few minutes later, as I was walking across my church parking lot, a guy walked in and asked me for directions to a place near the church. And he said that the reason why he stopped and talked to me and asked me was because he was an Italian guy and I looked Italian. And so here I am, I was confused as a Hispanic and an Italian and all the same day. But to me, my background as far as that goes doesn't matter. My background is I'm an American. And I want the best for this country. I believe that this is a great country. And I believe that anybody who wants to come here has a right and an opportunity to do so, as long as they do so legally, as long as they do whatever they can to contribute to this country and make it continue to be the great nation that it is. Thank you very much.